What's going on, everybody? It's Nice Pants Lance. Got the 2015 Rocket 3 Roadster here. If you saw my last video, you caught the reveal of my new bike and also the conclusion of the Yamaha Virago project. We're done playing with the Yamaha Virago 535, and my new bike, the Rocket 3, will be the new project bike. Got a bunch of stuff I want to do to this motorcycle. Unfortunately, I can't give you a test ride as an introduction, but I will fire it up for you. The rear tire is definitely shot. Let's see if I can see any wire. Well, on the other side of the tire, it's starting to show wire, so can't take it for a ride. So we'll definitely be remapping this bike, fitting a new pipe on there. But first order of business is getting this shitty rear tire off of the motorcycle. We are going dark side. I know a lot of you guys, where's the tire? Where did I put it? Oh, right in front of me. I know a lot of you guys are fans of the dark side. Most of you are not, but I figure I would rattle a few people by mounting a car tire onto the rear. So first order of business is we're gonna take off the exhaust pipes, and we're gonna jack up the motorcycle. We're gonna remove that rear wheel, and we're gonna get this car tire mounted on the back. I'm going to try something a little different this time. Let me know in the comments if you like the commentary or if you'd rather me play music and make it a more visual experience. Getting the Rocket lifted was a little tricky. I have a 1-inch layer of rubber padding on my motorcycle jack, and you essentially need to put it as far back on the engine case as possible. It's kind of a delicate operation, but as long as you're very far back and you have a strap around the front wheel and the wheel chuck holding it to the holding the front end of the ground rather, then you should be fine. This thing literally weighs like 20 pounds. So getting rid of these pipes already will have a tremendous weight saving. So taking the pipes off wasn't too hard. Just some basic tools will get the job done. The pipes are very heavy. You have to take off the bracket that holds the rear peg off in order to remove that exhaust bracket. Because I'm adding a aftermarket slip-on, I won't need it at all, so I'm just going to remove them off of both sides. These brackets probably weigh like 3 or 4 pounds each, so that actually helps take some weight off. I don't want to have too many pieces floating around, so after I remove the brackets, I'm putting everything right back together. That exhaust clamp was suspiciously tight. I could hear some creaking, so busted out the impact for that one. Woo-wee! That was on there pretty good. Once I finished the right side, I did the exact same thing on the left side and removed the pipe and the cover from the crossover section of the exhaust. There's not much room to get in there with socket wrenches, so for a lot of it I'm just using standard box end wrenches. Removing the other exhaust bracket is exactly the same as the first side. Not hard at all, as long as you have a complete set of metric box end wrenches and sockets and torques and whatnot. Can't quite remember what I actually used on this, but just make sure you got some tools. Unfortunately, I had to get the brake caliper off in order to dislodge that wheel. I had already taken the axle nut off and pulled the axle through off camera, unfortunately. I kind of skipped through certain parts of it just so I don't make it a 30-minute long video. But yeah, I had to remove the mount for the brake caliper and slide it off of the rotor in order to release everything. Everything is very, very tightly packed and there's not much clearance. So after that, I had to lift it up a little bit more just to clear that awful long license plate holder that has to come on every single bike. Couldn't figure out how to get the tire off manually, so I asked my mother and father-in-law for assistance. My father-in-law is, he's been working on stuff his whole life. He used that grinding wheel to blast a hole through the rubber so he could get a Sawzall blade through it. And then we just sort of took our time cutting through all the steel belts that are in the tire itself. I kind of helped out using a crowbar to keep the material still so the blade could cut through it.
Cut more out, cut the tire almost in half. Now it'll lose its strength, it'll pop right off.
Won't take much, just nice. Nice.
Now get the other side and fall right off there.
It would have been nice to pull the tire off at this stage, but unfortunately we had to cut the tire completely in half in order to get it off of the wheel. Using a crowbar to hold the tire up off the wheel allowed us to cut all the way through it, and that was it for the old tire.
Not bad.
So is it going just like we got it?
Yep.
I'm gonna take all 3 freaking tire irons to do it.
In hindsight, if I were to do it again, I would definitely invest in some plastic wheel protectors that are made for using these tire irons. That way I don't scratch up the wheel. I only scuffed it a little bit.
Start here and work our way around. That way around first. Just the end, you force that end down, the rim.
Oh, nice, nice. Just had to take our time and work the tire irons around, and pretty soon the whole thing fell into place.
You're not. You're so freaking close of it popping on there.
Off camera, we got an air compressor going and just started pumping it with air till it's seated. He's got some special sauce over there, as he calls it. I don't know what it is, but man, it made that tire seat right into
You
place.
had to cut a hole in the tire like Dave does to
get the
exhaust saw in it. And cut a strip out of it and cut the belts. We tried it. Now I know why all those bike tires. That he took 3 days taking all those bike tires off. When he got done, he said the 4th day, he said he couldn't even walk. He said his back was killing him.
Can you imagine?
After that, I put about 3 ounces of balancing beads in there.
What is that stuff?
Balancing beads, so I don't have to bring it anywhere to be balanced. No wheel weights or nothing. You fill it with like glass sand, pretty much. And
See all the little beads inside? It's like, almost like glass, he's right.
yeah, it's a silica bead of some sort.
But that helps level your rim out and your caliber and that. Balances the wheel, really.
Yeah.
I was telling them about the ones that we had. Remember we dumped in the motorhome to balance the front tires on that motorhome we had?
If you did that, I had no idea.
Fast forward back to the house. I decided to do the rear differential service on this. I don't know how well it was serviced when the previous owner had it, so I wanted to take a look at it,
there for now.
make sure the splines and the end of the drive shaft are in good condition. It's pretty easy, just use a box end wrench to take 4 of these nuts off, and after that, I just unlinked one side of the shock, and I was able to take the whole thing right off.
There we go. Alrighty. Oh god. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. Okay. Let me go set this down. Let me take a look in here. Oh, it's actually not bad. Less is more. Less is more when it comes to this grease. For sure. Less is definitely more.
The splines themselves are in great condition, but I decided to wipe the old Molly grease off and re-lube it with some fresh grease. You need to use a very specific kind of grease.
Not too much, just enough. I gotta line the drive shaft up because when I pulled this out, the drive shaft sort of flops down inside of this tube. So. Oh, did I just get it? Did it just slide in? Oh, baby. That's what I'm looking for.
At first, I mated the hub back up to the drive shaft. It left me absolutely no room to squeeze the wheel back in, get it mounted to the hub, and get the caliper in place so I could slide the axle through. So I had to take it off again, and I instead chose the hardest way to do this, which is to put the hub on the wheel and then lift the entire wheel with the hub back up onto the drive shaft. Get it aligned perfectly while getting the caliper and pads back onto the rotor all at once. You can't see the other side, but I was able to get everything back together all in once. After that, I just wiped and lubed up that drive shaft a little bit, got the nut back down, used my torque wrench to get everything back together and torque to spec, and then I drained the bevel box of its old gear oil and I refilled it with that royal purple stuff that everyone talks about.
Oh yeah, it's... Oh yeah. All right. I got the oil and the bevel box drained. Everything's lubed. I went over every single bolt, every nut I could find. I used a torque wrench, a nice fancy digital torque wrench to get all the torque specs correct. I didn't want to waste too much time showing you, but I just wanted to tell you what I did. And yeah, all I gotta do is get the bike off of the jack now.
You're welcome.
How freaking
I
annoying.
am your friend.
How annoying.
I'm not your girlfriend anymore, or your fiance. I'm your wife, but I'm still your friend. Aren't you lucky?
I appreciate you.
The Rocket is officially dark-sided. If you like this video, give me a like. If you want to see more on the Rocket 3, subscribe. Peace.